All right, we continue on today with the coach of the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, Kellie Harper. Coach, if you don't mind, start us off with a statement about the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, obviously we're excited to be here and really proud to be hosting the tournament. It's been fun to watch the games both on the men's side and the women's side the last couple days, and it will be fun to get started for us tomorrow. So, we're looking forward to it. I know we've got 3 terrific teams here in Knoxville as well, so we expect it to be competitive and a lot of fun.
Questions? Frank?
You were in Frank DeLuca, WBIR. You were in the same position last year. What did you learn about trying to handle the anticipation leading up?
You know, every year is it's different. Every year feels different. Your team's different. And we actually approached this one a little bit differently than we did last year, just because of our personnel, some of the things that we've done. Logistically, we kept a similar schedule. What we did in practice was a little bit different. It feels like our team is ready. Like, it feels like they're ready to play basketball. I hope that's the case. And I think for them, every year you're always educating your players on what the NCAA tournament is, how it's run, some of the little nuances about the tournament, what's different than the regular season, what's different than the SEC tournament, to try to help them understand what's next. And all year they've done a really good job of staying in the moment with the next opponent. I think they're doing the same now. And today's practice will be important to finalize some things for St. Louis.
Jimmy Hines with the Sports Animal. Kellie, you mentioned doing things different in practice. What have you done differently in practice?
We've gotten our players up and down a little bit more. Our roster's deeper this year than it was at this point last year, and just to try to keep them in a little bit better place conditioning-wise. I feel like we've had to scrimmage a little bit more. We've given them about the same number of off days, but we've tried to get them ready in terms of try to get them game ready a little bit more this year.
And what's the scouting report on St. Louis?
Yeah, well, St. Louis, I think it's interesting because if you pick up a stat sheet, you look at 17 and 17, and that just doesn't tell the story. It's not the accurate story of who they are right now. And I think you've got to dig a little deeper when you look at them. I think they've won 11 out of the last 12, so they're playing well with a lot of confidence. They have some really talented players. They have great scorer, great playmaker / defender / multi-purpose talent. They've got at one point, I think she still is the nation's leading shot blocker. They have a lot of really good stats on their team, and they're tough. I think they are very versatile. They can do a lot of different things within their half-court defense that can really disrupt you. And then offensively, they can spread it out a little bit. They got some people that can shoot, they've got some people that can create, and they've got some people that can score inside, and they do a good job on the boards. I could probably keep going, but I don't know if you want the whole thing. They're a good basketball team. They're tough, and just heard talking to someone the other day. The NCAA tournament is a winner's tournament. You've had to win to get here, and they've done that.
Therese Walker, the Associated Press. Kellie, you don't have tomorrow, but you do have Jordan Hornston back this year. How much of a difference does it make when going into a tournament like this that you've got her on the court, not to mention Rakia as well?
Well, obviously Jordan is a dynamic player, and she makes a lot of positive plays for us in areas that you see on the stat sheet and sometimes areas that you don't see on the stat sheet. We were going into the SEC tournament, and I had forgotten. I guess I'd blocked it from my memory that she didn't play last year. And obviously having her out there, I mean, she's just a talented player. You want her on the court with you.
And I'm going to go a slightly different direction, a little bit bigger picture. You were part of a team, one of the 9 undefeated teams, and South Carolina is trying to do that now this year. When you go undefeated, now you're a coach, you experienced it as a player. Is it part challenge assembling the roster, schedule? How many components go into trying to chase perfection in a season?
I don't know. I don't know many coaches that go into the season saying, let's be perfect this year. I'm not sure. Maybe they did. Coming off of last season, maybe they wanted to better it by one, and to better it, I guess that would have one more win for them from last year. I think it's difficult. For me as a coach, I don't know that I would go in thinking let's be perfect, let's be the best we can be, and see where that takes us. And for them, it is your roster. It's also it's deeper than that. It is maintaining a competitiveness, not letting a complacency set in, continuing to improve. I think that was, I think that's hard when you have a great team. That you continue to give them motivation to be their best. Scheduling, I think, is important. You have to schedule to challenge them, to allow them to grow and be the best they can be.
And follow up, I mean, when you played, you were playing with Shamiqua, Tamika, and Samika. How much does it help when you have stars like that? Right now, Dawn's got Aaliyah, Boston, and a couple other people like that. When you've got stars like that, is it easier to do, to play on the court, or do you have to try and find ways to keep some of the other players that you were playing with happy as well?
I think when you have star players, it gives your teammates confidence. Going down the stretch in a tight game, you probably feel pretty good about your teammates when you have star players. I know I did. Going down the stretch, I had 3 All-Americans that made my job a lot easier, but it gave me a lot of confidence that we could do anything. And I think and it's not just their talent, but also their demeanor, their poise, their attitude, their mindset, their experience. I think all of that matters. And when you have those players that, not just your star players, but star players in leadership roles, I think that can really carry a team.
Speaking of confidence, how much of a confidence boost was it to rally and beat LSU in the SEC tournament?
I think that was a big win for our team. I think it, gave us a lot of confidence, gave us some momentum, I believe, at that moment. I think I was so happy for our team. They've continued to fight and work hard all season and not always came up with the big win. And this was an opportunity to get that, and to see them rewarded with that win was very satisfying as a coach. I was happy for them in that moment. Obviously, it's a big deal, to be competitive, to be physical, to be able to maintain your emotions throughout a tough game like that.
We've already seen a couple of huge upsets on the men's side, a 15 seed and a 13 seed winning. Do you even need to bring that up to your team, or do they understand, hey, this is one and done, you can't overlook anybody?
Yeah, I don't think we have to bring it up. We will. I think every higher seed in the country is doing that right now. You just want to make sure. But I think our team is in a good space in their respect for St. Louis in particular. I think, they understand how well they're playing right now. They understand the challenges that they present as they take the court. And they also understand that you've got to go out there and be your best.
On Rakia's decision to come back next year, how much was that a conversation throughout the course of the season?
Yes, actually, her decision was ongoing conversations. So, from the moment she stepped on this campus, we started having those discussions, and wanted to make sure that she was well informed about her options, what it was going to look like here, what it would look like, if she decided to go, just try to make sure that she was as prepared as she could possibly be with all the information that she needed. And at the end of the day, I wasn't surprised. She loves it here, and she is she's really embraced being a Lady Vol, and she knows that her future. She's got a great future ahead of her, but I don't think she's rushing to get there. You know, I think she understands what this place means, and she's enjoyed it. I mean, she really has.
She said that this is the first team that she's actually felt like there's been that family atmosphere. It's been kind of an element of stability to it. As from a coach's perspective, you know, that's your whole goal, is to make that feel like a family. Just how does it make you feel to have given a seasoned veteran her first true, I guess, warm feeling in the locker room?
Well, you know, as a coach, you want it to look a certain way, right? You want your program to represent your values. You want to see your players close and be part of a family. And to hear her say that obviously puts a smile on my face. I'm so excited, and you know, again, just happy for her, happy for our team. You know, that that's how they feel, and you know, understand it's unique. It's a special place.
Kellie, are you having ongoing conversations with Jordanston about WNBA and her future?
Yeah, it's the same. You know, same situation that I had with Rakia. You know, you're constantly talking to them about it, and everybody gets there in a different time. And so Jordan is, when she gets there, she'll get there with her decision, and you know, we want to support her in whatever she decides as well. I think the hard thing for her is she's got two great options, and you know, we'll when it's time for her to finalize her decision, she'll let everybody know.
Does it matter to you whether she decides during the tournament or after the tournament?
Well, there's some time there are some timelines that she'll have to work through. I think March 27th is the deadline, so she'll have to work through some timelines. But also, it needs to make sense for her and for our team. You know, it doesn't need to be a distraction. Which right now she's really focused on this team and what we're doing right now, and she'll get there when it's time.
Kellie, with the NIL, does that maybe make it easier for players to weigh that decision of going to the or you know, and seeking a pro career, or having the comfort of being able to stay one more year in college?
Yeah, I think, you know, the players' NIL opportunities nowadays, I don't know if it makes it easier or harder, right? I mean, because now there are opportunities to take advantage of their name and who they are really lucrative at the college level. And when I say make it harder or easier, sometimes it makes those decisions harder because now they're presented with two really good options. At the same time, you know, so many of these players, their dream is to play in the WNBA, and you know, that's a big deal too. That's your dream. So that's what they're weighing right now. You know, the wonderful life that is being a college athlete versus taking that next step and living their dream.
Tomorrow, ABC, you know, early tip, national audience, home court advantage. How big is that maybe for the women's game? And then looking ahead, you know, you've got the teams that advance are going to two sites, Greenville or Seattle. Is this a good test for the parity of where the women's game is, and you know, what the ratings might end up being with these kind of comparisons?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the regionals go. You know, I think there can be some positives, and then there may be some negatives out of it as well. And I think it's one of those things you just don't know until you get there and go through it and experience it. You know, obviously you've got two extremes in terms of locale. You're gonna have a lot of teams are gonna have to travel a lot of distance to get to those regionals. So it'll be interesting, and I know the Women's Basketball Committee and the NCAA will really evaluate that and, you know, proceed with either changes or, you know, maybe tweaks to make it continue. I think in terms of you know, the network and being on in a great time slot in terms of our showcasing women's basketball, obviously we're excited about that. We think here at Thompson-Boling Arena, it's a great venue. our fans will be here. The environment will be great. And I think it shows some of the best of women's basketball.
2 more.
Kelly, how valuable has Hollingshead been coming off the bench for you?
Well, Jillian is one of the most talented players on our team, and she's been able to grow and mature throughout the season. I think the biggest growth that we've seen is just the experience that she's had throughout the year. She's a go-to player, and we needed that from her. And she's playing with great confidence right now, not just in games, but in practices. Her teammates have had confidence in her the entire year. I mean, the moment she walked on campus, they were fans. And, we're excited to see her growth, but also understand she can even continue to improve.
And how would you assess your defense heading into the NCAA tournament?
At times, our defense has been good. What coach is going to say, oh, yes, we're great, right? I think we remain pretty critical as coaches. We're always looking at things that we need to do better. That area is one of them for us, but I think our team understands what we need to do, and I think that's a big positive for us, understanding how we need to play, what we need to do. Throughout the year, we've added. We've modified, we've adjusted our defense to help fit this team, and I think that's helped us.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Tennessee practices at 11:30. The first 15 minutes will be open to the media.